Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
The color white has served Kevin Youkilis well thus far, as 2 straight game-winning hits by the new third baseman has helped his new team sweep 2-time defending American League champion Texas Rangers. And with the All-Star break just 1 series away, the Sox look to cap off the first half with series wins over Toronto. It's Game 1, Sox and Blue Jays, right now. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet Plus presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul KONERKO, Adam Dunn, A.J. Pierzynski, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with John Farrell's tough Toronto Blue Jays. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the first of this 3-game set. As you know, the Sox coming off that 3-game sweep of the Texas Rangers. That's the first time they have been swept in 2012. So the Sox come in 2 games in front of Cleveland, 8 games over 500, and tonight facing a real good lineup.
It is a terrific lineup. In fact, this is a team that has pitching problems, but they don't have any hitting problems, so Jake Peavy's going to have his work cut out for him. He's 6-5 this year, his ERA a touch below 3. There's a very good chance he might wind up at the All-Star game because of the injury to CC Sabathia. We'll have to see. He certainly deserves it, and almost each and every time out, Jake has been just terrific. Aaron Laffey goes to the mound. He's 3-3 lifetime against our Sox. Now, you might remember him with the Cleveland Indians. That's where our ball club faced him. He's a soft-tossing left-hander. This year his ERA is a touch over 2. This is his 3rd start, although he's been working out of the bullpen some. So we're going to face 3 lefties in this series. We're 5 under against left-handers. Hopefully tonight we'll start to turn it around.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all, Ford. Drive one. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And by Toyota, with great specials on fuel-efficient vehicles. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer.
degrees at game time. Now it's time for the Miller Time starting lineup, and let's see how John Farrell's going to line up his Blue Jays tonight. Red Lowry leading off, and it's Rasmus, Bautista, who leads the league in home runs with Encarnacion, Lind, Escobar, Davis, Johnson, and Aaron Sebia catching and hitting ninth. The defense and how they'll line up behind Jake. Luciano Diaz and Rios left to right with Euclid, Ramirez, Beckham, and KONERKO. A.J. Pierzynski gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Jake Peavy. Looking for his 7th win, his ERA just below 3. 101 strikeouts, just 24 walks, and 112 2/3 innings, leading the league in quality starts. We would expect nothing less from him here tonight. The umpires for the game tonight: Daryl Cousins, the crew chief behind the plate. Ron Culpa is at first. DJ Rayburn is at second, and Jim Wolf is at third. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. First of this 3-game set and 4th of this 6-game homestand, of course. If you missed the opening, we swept the Rangers. First time they've been swept all season long. And here's the first pitch of the ball game. Brett Lowry is taken for a strike. Lowry comes in hitting at .291, 8 homers he's driven in 33. Blue Jays hitting at .255 as a club with a 4.44 team ERA. And there's strike 2. But they have 122 home runs. Dangerous lineup.
And Lowry, one of the real good young players in the game, out of the Milwaukee Brewers system.
That's low and away. We played these guys 3 times already, and of the 3, we won 1. Toronto comes in 19-22 on the road, 23-19 at home. Gotta hurry, this guy can run.
Very little chance, even if Ramirez comes up with it, because Lowry does have some power, but he also has tremendous speed. Little chopper over Jake's head turns into the first hit of the game. He tries to catch it, can't get it with his throwing hand, and neither can Alexei.
So here's Rasmus, the center fielder, hitting at .262, 16 homers and 50 knocked in. This guy, like most of these hitters, is dangerous. And of course, that's the smoke from the fireworks on your television. That ball hit high and deep. We get a man there. Lowry's went back to tag, but Piazza, not going to trick him. 1 out. That'll bring up the league leader in home runs with 27, Jose Bautista. Hitting at .243, 27 long ones, and 64 knocked in.
He also can run a little bit for a guy with as much power as he has. In fact, this entire Blue Jay team has pretty decent speed all the way across the board.
Outfield straight up. Bit of a gap in left center. And that is popped up and back. Souvenir.
Bautista got off to a slow start home run wise this year, but now leading the league, he started to really heat it up.
Well, he hit 43 of them last year.
He is one strong young man.
Got a live bat.
He has grounded into 11 double plays, however. Jake would love to see him roll over on a sinker away.
Breaking ball. And the count 0-2. Bautista has faced Peavy 12 times. He has 1 hit. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. That's into short center field. Piazza can't get there. So a little pop fly falls in. 2 on.
Not really surprising because it's very hot. We know the ballpark is very lively. And that pitch is out of the strike zone. But with De Aza playing as deep as he was, as was Viciedo, no chance.
So here's Encarnacion. He's at 295, 22 homers and 56 knocked in.
He was hurt when we saw them the last time.
He didn't play. Takes ball 1.
Talking with John Farrell, he was talking about Encarnacion this year. He said they had high hopes for him at Cincinnati, and it's paying dividends with us here in Toronto.
There's a good strike. Last year hit 272, limited service, 17 homers, and drove in 55. So Toronto threatening here with 2 soft base hits. A little infield single by Lowry and a little duck snort, semi-duck snort by Bautista.
Stands him up with a fastball. Pretty good pitch.
Not many umpires are going to call the inside strike.
Encarnacion originally with the Texas Rangers, 9th round draft in the year 2000, traded to Cincinnati. Then later traded here to Toronto along with Josh Renicky and Zach Stewart in exchange for Scott Rowland. Turned out to be a good trade for both teams.
Full count. And the Bertucci boys in the house. Bobby, Bruno, Anthony, and of course Giggs. Can't leave Giggs out. There they go. There's the throw down. He gone. That's the second man. Good play by AJ, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across. After half inning of play, it's Blue Jays nothing, and our guy is coming to bat.
Going to line up our Sox tonight. Alejandro De Aza has cooled off somewhat, leading off. Kevin Youkilis red hot hitting second. Then it's Dunn, Konerko, Rios, AJ Pierzynski, Viciedo, Alexei Ramirez, and Gordon Beckham playing second and hitting 9th. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Aaron Laffey. Davis, Rasmus, and Bautista left to right with Lowry, Escobar, Johnson, and Encarnacion. Aaron Sebia behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Aaron Laffey. You might remember him from the Cleveland Indians. This is his third start, his 7th game. No record, but a fine 2.14 ERA. He is a soft-tossing left-hander. He's walked just 4, so he throws the ball around the plate a lot. But he's not going to overpower you.
He's got a good changeup, and all Sox fans know what left-handers for good changeups give us, and that's a lot of trouble. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Piazza hitting at .291, 5 homers and 32 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. Sox come in hitting at .259 with a 3.89 ERA. Sox finally got over the 500 mark at home, 22 and 21 with that sweep of Texas. Sox, of course, 23 and 16 on the road. Souvenir left side and 0 and 2.
Rafi, a 27-year-old left-hander, made it to the major leagues with the Indians in 07. Was there parts of 07, parts of 08, parts of 9, parts of 10. And then made his way to both New York and Seattle last year before finding a home here in Toronto, at least for the moment, and finding himself in the starting rotation because of a lot of injuries.
Lays off that. Good try by Laffey. And there's a shot caught by Lowry.
Let's take a look at our Home Depot doing more on defense, and it's a play that ended the top of the first inning. AJ realizing that the trailer usually is a little bit slower and has not as much of a lead, so he goes after Bautista. He guns him down. The strike him out, throw him out, double play. Gets Jake. And our Sox out of that first inning. Heads up play by AJ.
And here's Uke. Uke hitting a .308 in a Sox uniform.
Rafi against our Sox, 3-3 with an ERA of .302.
Uke with game-winning hits in yesterday's game and in Wednesday's game. If you missed that game yesterday, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
That was it. That was all the scoring.
And there is ball 4.
One thing with Kevin Youkilis, you better throw him strikes because he is not under any circumstances going to expand his strike zone. And 4 straight bad ones, none of them on the plate. He winds up at first base.
Now Lowry is going into short right field.
He's got the most range in that infield, and that's one of the reasons why they shift him into the position that has to cover the most ground.
So here's Adam. 213, 25 homers, 60 knocked in. Oh, he was all over that cookie.
Menard's pitch tracks. That ball, where Adam really likes it, which is out and away. He can get his arms out. And when he's taking that pitch to left center field, he hits him pretty hard.
Takes another one. And the count 0-2. As we speak, Tampa Bay leading Cleveland 4-2. That game in the bottom of the 4th. It's Cobb against Masterson. Took a little something off that one. So 2-2 with KONERKO on deck.
Well, Tampa Bay's really been struggling. Winners of just 3 of their last 10. But we'd certainly like them to have a very good series in Cleveland.
You know, it's hard for them to have a good offensive series without Longoria.
They have missed him dearly. In the middle of that lineup, he just sets up the entire lineup.
Yeah, he changes everything around. Everything around.
Without him, Zobrist is probably their most dangerous hitter, although Pena will hit home runs. But they have some problems scoring runs. Not so tonight, though. 4 in 4 innings.
Against a pretty good pitcher. Got him. He knew it. So 2 out, and let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Dimangio, our director and the crew, went with Youkilis. Steve's going with Ramirez. And Frank and Laurie Pater and we're going to go with A.J. Pierzynski. And that is hooked foul. Outfield for the most part. Straight up. Bit of a gap in left center. And Bautista playing short and right. Paulie has faced Laffey 18 times, has 5 hits, all of which have stayed in the park.
This Toronto team is not a good defensive team. They've committed the 3rd most errors in the league coming into play tonight.
And that's beat up the middle, base hit. RASMUS will get to it. And Sox with 2 out, have 2 on, and here comes Alex.
Right back up the middle. And even though it's on the glove side, it's just hit too hard. Laffey looks at his glove to see if it's there. It's not. It's in center field.
It's Alex on a 10-game hitting streak. His average up to 316, 11 homers, 45 knocked in. There's always that extra element when you're playing against your former team. Made a good pitch on him. Jammed him, pops him up, Rasmus, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across. We strand a pair after 1, no score.
One to look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And Luke Scott has just hit a 2-run homer. It is now 6-2 Tampa Bay leading Cleveland. A game in the top of the 5th. So here's Adam Lind. Lind hitting at 201, 6 homers, 18 knocked in. Adam just turned 29. Was sent down earlier in the season. And the count 2-0.
He's always been able to swing a good bat. He's always had power to left center field, but they felt he might have been not in quite as good a shape as they would like.
3-0 the count.
He is a feared left-hander.
09 at 35 homers, drove in 114 while hitting 305. There's a strike. He was born in Muncie, now resides in Anderson, Indiana. That ball hit deep to left. He looks up and it is 1-0.
And that's where his power is. 7th home run. 19th driven in. Ford home run replay, a fastball, and that was belt high. Out away for Jake, the 12th he's given up in 113 2/3 innings.
And there is strike one to Yunel Escobar. One hopper. Well, I'm a big believer in that. And what we were talking about with Adam Lind, I'm a big believer, especially if somebody is not in shape or if they're struggling a little bit. I'm not talking about your stars. I'm not talking about your KONERKOs or your Bautistas, guys like that. But guys who are not quite at that level, I'm a big believer to let them go down to the minor leagues for a week or two, just to let them see how good they've got it at the major league level.
See what life is like on the other side.
Exactly right.
And remind them that your job, because you're getting paid for it, is to get yourself in the best shape possible. He just might have learned something, because he can hit. There's no doubt about that.
He's a terrific hitter. And he does it at the right times, too. That's why I like Adam Lind so much. He does it in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Does it against good pitching. He did not go. Says Ron Culpa. So RAJAI Davis with a 1-2 count. Yeah, he's one of those guys that's not what he hits, it's when he hits it.
And with Davis, if he chops in the infield, you better get to it quickly, because he can really run.
Back to that dugout this time. He gone. 2 down.
Two strikeouts for Jake, sweeping breaking ball away, and Davis, no contact.
Kelly Johnson, the second baseman. Takes first pitch strike. Johnson at 245, 9 homers, 35 knocked in.
Johnson, another guy with some power.
And I would like to thank all you fans out there and all the White Sox personnel in the PR department, marketing department. Everybody got behind Jake and take Jake to Kansas City. Unfortunately, we came up a little short, but it was a great effort. And I am sure that Jake really appreciated it.
Well, he talked about it. He said that this organization seems like a family. Everybody cares about one another, and he was actually in awe at the effort to get behind him and get him to the All-Star game. Because it was, number one, an imaginative campaign. He loved the imitation of Gordon Beckham. He thought that was just terrific. Beckham imitating him in the dugout. That was very funny.
Here's the 2-2. It's full. Well, Jake could fit right in here. And that's all Sox fans want. As long as you play your behind off and you compete and you battle, you are indeed a member of the White Sox family. As that's ball 4. First walk issued by Peavy. It'll bring up J.P. Arancibia, the catcher, hitting at 226, 13 homers, 41 knocked in. I mentioned now the Blue Jays have 123 homers. Our Sox have 100.
Arancibia from the school of swing very hard in case he hits something. Last year he hit 23 home runs, hit just 219. But he has big power.
He was swinging the bat well against us in that 3-game set. He was dangerous. That's a better way to put it. Checks it up on a breaking ball and takes strike 1. And there's strike 2.
Arancibia, no stranger to the strikeout. He's second on this team with 75 of them. Jake threw a fastball. All it's going to take is one slider away out of the zone, and he'll get it.
Blocked nicely.
That ball a little too wide.
And the 2-2 pitch. He got away with one there. Alexei, and that'll do it. But the home run, the leadoff homer by Lind, the 7th. It is 1-0 Blue Jays. TV by Gordon Beckham, and here's a little bit of it.
Take this for me, Bubba. I got to do something right now.
Hey, Jake, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. So, I mean, you are hopefully going to the All-Star game. You've had a really nice first half. What would it mean to you to be in the All-Star game?
Well, I got to be honest. You know what? I just love going out there and competing with the boys. When I get out there, I give 100% all the time, every time, and every time I go out there, it's not even about me. I just want to go out there and give my team a chance to win. And I really hope I do make it. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I got other things I got to do. I can play my guitar. Stuff like that, and I'm just excited for this team, the chance we got to make it to the playoffs, and where we're at right now.
Sounds like you'd be pretty.
Oh my goodness, because Rajai was interviewing him. We'll show you a little bit more of that a little bit later as AJ will lead it off. It's 1-0 Toronto. AJ high into center field. Rasmus, one pitch, one out. AJ came in at 287, 15 homers and 48 knocked in. And should have been in Kansas City in a few days. But he understands the routine, as most of us do. It's been that way each and every year, and it'll be that way each and every preceding year.
I think every year you'll have the same thing. You'll have guys who should have been there. Most of the guys who do get there deserve to be there, however.
Well, the starting lineup I have no problem with, because it's a fans' game.
Right?
It's a fans' game. It's just that simple. Whoever they want to see, they will see, and they generally do. And the picks are very difficult, and I don't blame Ron Washington. As Tank fouls it down, I don't blame other managers. Tony La Russa. Tony was really good at that. As far as if it was even close, he would take his own players.
Well, they're the guys that have to win for you the second half. I mean, they're the guys that are going to send you into the playoffs. And if you have a choice, you might as well take them. That's one of the benefits of winning the league, going to the World Series. And, if a lot of managers unhappy with it. I know Dusty Baker had a few choice words for Tony this year about not picking a couple of the players that he thought probably should have been there. One was Johnny Cueto. The other was Brandon Phillips. And Tony just said, well, who do you want me to take off to put Brandon Phillips on the team?
I don't blame those managers. And the guy who was really infamous for that, who had the opportunity as well, was Joe Torre. Joe took all his guys that he could.
Took a lot of Yankees.
Exactly, and I don't blame him. Even Sandy Alderson with the Mets was a little upset that David Wright was not going.
Yeah, but I mean, same thing with Ron Washington. Now he has 8 of his Texas Rangers going, with Yu Darvish going there. And that's one of the perks of winning it. You get to pick who you want to pick.
And the 0-2 pitch. Got him upstairs. 2 down.
Ball was fired into right field as they were throwing it around the infield.
So here is Alexei hitting at 256, couple homers and 41 knocked in.
Getting a chance to play in front of his father, who's certainly been enjoying the homestand.
Well, they came at the right time. Alexei starting to get this thing heated up. And count 2-0.
And there's the family. There's Mr. Ramirez on the left in the check shirt. And I got to tell you something. What he appreciates about this ballpark is the concession stands. It's Armando Ramirez.
Oops, broken bat. Lowry. And that didn't take long. A 1-2-3 inning. It was 1-0 Blue Jays. premiere of Inside Look, A.J. Pierzynski, presented by Cadillac. The good guy's bad boy. Talks about earning respect in the league and making a name for himself in Chicago. Plus his view of a perfect game from behind the plate. All that and more on Inside Look, A.J. Pierzynski. Tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Laurie, big hack. Nice catch by one of the fans in the mezzanine. And the count 0-1.
Milwaukee Brewers wanted Sean Markham. They needed a starting pitcher. They thought Markham was the guy. The price was their prize third baseman, Brett Lawrie.
Chops that one foul. He had that infield single leading off the ball game.
Lawrie did not show big power in the minor leagues, but he will have it.
There he just gets sawed off. He got caught right in between, did Gordon, so good speed aboard.
That came with a whole lot of spin. Gordon had a chance to come in and really just trap it on the short hop, but because of the spin, kind of played it on a longer hop than he would have liked. Probably going to cost him an error. It's going to be his 5th.
So here's Rasmus. Went out to his counterpart, De Aza.
This was a guy I know that we were fairly interested in when St. Louis decided that they probably were going to get rid of him. He and Tony didn't get along particularly well for whatever reason, but he seems to be thriving north of the border because he's got some skills.
Two and 0 the count. Ryan Butterfield down at third, going through his sequence. He gets jammed, pops it up. Alexei makes the catch. Good play.
Because of the power of Rasmus, Macedo was back. Alexei calling for it. Over the shoulder catch. And Lawrie has to retreat.
That won't sound a big White Sox special welcome to the fine men and women of our Chicago Police Department that are with us here tonight at the ballpark. White Sox honored Chicago's finest for their tremendous work during the NATO summit with an invitation to some games. And tonight is one of those games. And thank you again, each and all.
Boy, they just did a great job.
Fantastic. It was a fantastic job, no question about it.
We really had one of the most peaceful of four-day period that I could remember in the city.
Here's Bautista. Hit a little flare into left field at left center. It fell in for a base hit.
Lawrie's got good speed, but he has yet to figure out the intricacies of base stealing. He swiped 11, but he's been caught 8 times, which is a very high number.
Breaking ball strike. That's low. So the count now 3-1. And Tampa Bay now leading Cleveland 10-2. Still hitting. They have scored 6 in the top of the 5th. Still hitting.
Bautista went to throw the bat away and then thought, well, let's see the call. Menard's pitch tracks could have gone either way. Went Bautista's way.
So here's Encarnacion, struck out. Struck out into a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Two on, one out. And the 0-2 count.
Here's our AT&T UVerse multi-view.
One nothing Blue Jays here in the top of the third if you're just tuning in. Home run last inning. Standing by Adam Lind. Would not chase it.
2008, his major league high in home runs with 26 of them for Cincinnati. And very much of a hitter's park. He will fly by that this year.
Pretty good pitch right there, didn't get it. That is high into right field. Bauer is tagging, but he's not going anywhere. And that's out number 2. So that'll bring up Adam Lind, and here's what he did. He missed it.
7th home run of the year. Just a line drive opposite field.
When the weather's like this is a real small ballpark.
If not the best, it's certainly one of the top 5 in all of baseball for hitting the ball out of.
This guy is a good crip hitter. By that I mean 2-0-3-1. The counts. And there's first pitch strike. A cripple count.
With 2 outs, a runner's in scoring position for a guy who hasn't played all that much this year. Those are pretty lofty numbers.
And make no mistake about it, Adam Lind can get you upstairs. He's one of the few left-handed hitters. Can get you upstairs with power.
Jake got that one well out of the zone. Fouled back. Another one up there wouldn't be a bad idea.
He gone. Took something off the breaking ball, and that'll retire the side. They threaten, can't score. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It is still 1-0 Toronto.
Who's the only pitcher in Blue Jays history with 40 saves in a season. You think about that for a while. We'll get back to you a little later in the game with the answer.
He was a good one. Right here, we got some work to do. We trail it 1-0, but it's just the bottom of the third. It'll be Beckham, then back to the top of the order with Diaza and Youkilis. And in that Tampa Bay game, I mentioned Luke Scott hit a 2-run homer in the fifth. Broke an 0-for-41 streak.
It's an all-time Tampa Bay record.
Well, it's the major league record's 0-for-46, so he wasn't far from the major league, and that was back in 19 and 09.
They might have told him what was coming.
By a guy named Bill Bergen. 1909, 0-for-46, and Luke Scott was 0-for-41. I think I started off one year. I had a base hit, but then I went 0-for-31.
I was 0-for-34 my first full season. but I hit in tough luck.
Getting ready to say
I hit in very tough luck that
At least you were squaring it up.
I was.
I was popping it up, grinding it out, and grabbing some bench.
I was striking out and grounding to second base as I was bailing out. My foot was almost in the third base dugout.
1-1 to count to Gordon. Didn't he get 249 homers, 36 driven in. Got him on out. Third strikeout.
Looked like a little something off that one high and away from Gordon, who's always had problems with Laffey. Now we'll see if the second time through the order, now that they know exactly how the fastball moves and how the straight change moves.
Well, for the most part, Laffey has always pitched well against us.
Yes, he has.
Left-hander with a good changeup. There's a breaking ball to Diaza. He smoked one, a line shot that Lowry made a good catch on. That's inside. And you can watch the game in luxury from behind home plate in the Gold Coast Tickets Club right here at US Cellular Field. Gold Coast Tickets, you got a guy. Two and one.
Last 7 games, things have turned around a bit for Alejandro. Not down there, however.
And took a lot off of it. So it's 2-2. If you missed that game the other night, Sox won it 5-4 in 10 innings. 2 outstanding at bats, one by Diaza and the other by Youkilis. Chops that one foul.
Those at bats combined, because Diaza hit himself just below the knee with a foul ball.
I mean, drilled it.
2 at bats combined were 13 minutes. Mike Adams was really unhappy, but too bad. He was the opposing pitcher who got the loss.
Ate him up inside. He just worked Alejandro over in that at bat. So 2 out, and that'll bring up Uke. Well, when he fouled that ball off his knee, it was no 2 count. Then he finally grinded it out after laying on the ground for 3 or 4 minutes. He drew the walk. Then he stole second base. Then Uke had a 2-2 count. And he was fouling off pitches and grinding it out, and then got the big base hit to knock him in.
That was pretty exciting. Well, just a great game. Most of the scoring was early, and then it became a defensive struggle. Both teams throwing a whole lot of leather around.
Starts him off with a changeup.
And it's 5 straight bad ones he's thrown to Euclid. 4-pitch walk in the first inning, and that one here.
And 2-0. Off-speed pitch, grabs a strike. Says Darryl Cousins. He has pitched best against us when he's doing what he's doing right now. Just slow, slower, and slowest.
Straight change, hard breaking ball, slow breaking ball.
Yep.
Back to the straight change, maybe a face-high fastball only on occasion.
That's into left field. RAJAI Davis comes on, makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. That's 7 in a row retired by Aaron Lampard.
Brought to you by the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
It's a 1-0 Toronto lead as we get set to go to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Escobar, Davis, and Johnson. Jake Peavy, all we've done for him in his last 4 outings is give him 2 runs.
And this being the 5th, hard to win too many games averaging a half a run a game.
Well, that's one reason he's not in Kansas City, is because we know how good he has been.
Yep.
Overall around the country, they look at the record. 6-5. I'll vote for Darvish. But it was close. I thought it was going to be really a runaway. And once again, Scott Reifert, Bob Bechtel, Ray Garcia, Nicole Sanchez, they got together, got their heads together, and put a tremendous plan and put it into effect, and it almost worked. In fact, it did work. It was just we were fighting the Asian market in Darvish's case. 3-1. That ball hit high and deep. Alejandro back fence, yes.
Not much room left. Just enough. He got a 3-1 fastball, took it to the opposite field. Probably thought he hit it out. A BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks will show you that it was out away. And Alejandro with maybe foot and a half to spare.
Here's Rajai Davis, struck out his first trip. Bottom of the third down at Arlington. Twins leading Texas 3-0. Liriano on the bump for Minnesota.
Twins are playing better baseball these days.
Much better. They've got a good lineup. They can absolutely be competitive with that lineup they've got, but not with the pitching staff. That's foul straight back.
About the last 6 or 7 starts, Francisco Liriano is like he was before he got injured.
Well, I don't know. Looking to play by Uke. Mercy. Shades of Robin Ventura.
This is a tremendous play because you're talking about one of the league's fastest men from the right side. He lays down what he thought was a perfect bunt. Now you see Euclid creeping in. As soon as he sees him draw the bat back, he's charging, and he does get him clearly by a step. Big play by Uke, who has pretty much played a Gold Glove third base since coming over here.
He's done everything. He's changed. We talked about Longoria changing the face of that lineup. Uke has changed the face of this lineup.
Look, we have the fewest errors in the league, and yet we improved exponentially when Kevin Euclid got here to play third base.
No question. Not even a discussion. There's a breaking ball. It's like Jake was talking about as well. Look at the difference in the outfield play we've had this year versus the past few years. Last year was the worst I've ever seen. Now, I mean, not just with a White Sox club, with any club. That's the worst I've ever seen. This year it's been some of the best. Not too many things have hit the ground out there. And you being a former pitcher, you know how important that is.
Not only that, but when a ball does hit the gap, you can bet whoever gets to it first is going to hit the first cutoff man, not airmail him to the second cutoff man.
That's fouled back.
And we've had a number of guys thrown out on the base paths just because of that. You got 2 guys with big arms in Ramirez and Beckham. So if a ball goes to the gap, if you hit Beckham or Ramirez with the relay throw, they're going to most likely make a pretty good throw, some cases to third, some cases home, and get the job done.
Well, earlier in the season, in the course of a 5-game period, Tank won us a game by hitting the cutoff man with that gun he's got and saved us another one in just 5 games. So that was 2 right there. Last year was an exception to the rule when we hit a cutoff man.
Well, there's some truth to that.
Broken bat, Matt Abatacola. One thing about it, with the exception of the home run by Lynn, the other 3 hits have been a little dicey. The chopper, a little flare that fell in off the bat of Bautista. Now that broken bat single. Duck snort by Johnson. Meanwhile, they count, and here's Aracebia. Aracebia popped up to Alexei.
The last man in that picture, when they showed you the bench, was Omar Vizquel, who's still playing and still in great shape.
That's a souvenir.
There's a look at Omar. The average, not much to speak about, but he's been in 31 games, and he's committed a total of no errors, which is not surprising.
Took a little something off that one. Had him off balance. So 0-2 the count with 2 down here in the top of the 4th. 1-0 Blue Jays. Good pitch, did not get it.
BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks. The 3 will appear. Didn't miss by much. AJ tries to help him out, but Darrell Cousins will have none of it.
He gone.
That time he just got outguessed because that was a fastball right down the middle.
Nothing across. After 3.5, still 1-0. Bad guys.
The only pitcher in Blue Jays history with 40 saves in a season. The answer? Wayne Ward. 45 saves in 1993.
Boy, he was a good one. He came out there throwing strike one and a hard strike one. But right here we trailed it by 1-0.
That was the second year of their 2-year reign of terror in the American League. They won it in 92 and 93 with Pat Gillick, the GM. Boy, did they have a good team.
Well, they had a terrific manager, too. And he was one of the most under-the-radar managers here for a long time. Finally started to get his due.
Cito Gaston.
Cito was a wonderful manager. Guys just loved to play with him.
Well, he came back and was a good manager when he came back for the second go-round there.
There's a fair ball. So Adam is retired. 1 pitch, 1 out. Yeah, Cito. Pat did a great job. That's the reason Pat's in the Hall of Fame. I faced Pat when he was a pitcher, left-handed, big curveball. Couldn't darken the eye if he hit you right in the eye with his fastball. Couldn't break a pane of glass, but he was a good pitcher.
Became a pretty good evaluator, and he always had very good evaluators around him.
That's the key.
That's
the key. That's the name of this game. It always has been. It always will be. Talent evaluation. You know, talking about our 10 rookies that we have on our club right now, and here we've completed the first half. This is our 83rd game. And there's really been only 2 guys that I know for sure that had complete confidence in that bullpen was going to be good. We talked about it in spring training, and that was Kenny Williams. He had complete confidence the bullpen was going to be fine. and Mark Gonzalez.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I told Mark, I said, I disagree. We were talking about it one day, and I said, I disagree. I said, we don't have a closer. We got all these young kids going to be out there, and here we're trying to contend.
Yeah.
He said, Hawk, I'm telling you, this bullpen is going to be fine. And boy, I'll tell you what, it has been awesome. There's a strike.
You never really know. I mean, there were great arms. There was no doubt. I mean, we saw them on a daily basis. We saw how good the arms were. You never know if that's going to translate into performance, and you didn't know who was going to take that step forward. You thought maybe it would be Addison Reed at the end of the day, but you never really knew. Boy, has he taken that big step forward. He is really tough now.
They all have. And the thing I liked about it is there's a one hopper down to Lowry. And it's out number 2 is Coop's done his number. Juan Davis has done his thing, getting those kids ready mentally to come in. There's one of the unsung heroes on this ball club. You've been down that bullpen when you weren't starting. You know what a good bullpen coach can do for a young kid.
Yep. Getting
ready to come in to face that 3rd, 4th, and 5th hitter. But it was Robin and Kenny who made the decision, hey, let's go with these guys.
Well, you go, and ideally you should do this. It doesn't happen very often, but regardless of the contracts, you want to go with the best arms. And they left camp with the best arms. It just so happened at the time that 3 of them were rookies. Rookies, not only rookies that you were going to use at the tail end of your bullpen, but, I mean, rookies who are going to play essential parts in your bullpen. And that's pretty unusual. Then everybody got hurt, and now we sit with Matt Thornton and his Ducklings.
One and 2 the count to Alex. Alex already passed his RBI total of last year.
Alex has been hitting the ball hard to all fields about the better part of almost 2 months.
And it's been because of the approach, not the mechanics. The 1-2.
He's just standing up a little straighter this year. Not much, but a little straighter.
It's not the 5 inches, it's the 6 inches from his left ear to his right ear.
Well, that's true. I mean, he had the talent. That was he's a 2-time All-Star. So
there is where
he
it's
had the talent.
Fouls away, and prior to the game, Matt Thornton, the veteran. Look at this. He's going to lead us.
Well, he's the only veteran, so he's got
little rookies and the Ducklings out there.
It takes them all out to make sure that they all get out there safely. That's great. That's just great. Ideally, you're always going to have fun.
There's a shot. So he now has an 11-game hitting streak.
That's been typical of Alex. Just work the count, get to the point where you get a pitch you like, and then just hit it real hard. BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks will show you that pitch is out away. It's not a bad pitch. Just rifled right back up the middle.
So here's AJ. He hit the first pitch he saw fairly deep into center field. Take strike 1. Frank. And Laurie Paters picked a click tonight. Ball hit hard, but they got a man there. And that'll retire the side. We're into the fifth. We trail it 1-0. First is the green game powered by Constellation. First 10,000 fans will receive a White Sox reusable bag presented by Constellation. That's Tuesday, August 21st. We're in the fifth inning. Jake Peavy, who has had 2 runs in his last 4 starts, has no run. No runs tonight. He trails it 1-0. And here's Squaw, Dan Pasqua. Right in the middle of your screen, one of the strongest guys to ever play this game of baseball. Just unreal how far he could hit the baseball. Talia, his daughter's working as an intern. Has 1-0 the count to Brett Lawry. That evens it.
Be nice to get him out to lead off an inning. He got on with a base hit to lead off the first, and reach base on an error to lead off the third.
Big breaker, and a count 1-2. Brett just 22 years old. A lot of mannerisms like Steve Sachs had. Everything fast forwarded.
That's what it seems like.
He gone. 5 strikeouts for the Jake Meister.
Jake that time changed eye levels. He got it up there a little bit higher than Lowry would have wanted. Jake threw the fastball by him. 91 looks like about 94, 95 up that high. The 2 walks is surprising, not the 5 strikeouts.
Here's Rasmus. He has gone out to center and popped up to short.
Former #1 draft pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. He was the 28th pick in the first round.
That's something you don't see a lot of guys doing today. Watch how open his shoulders are as Jake gets set to deliver the pitch. Now he'll just open him wide open. Years past, you see a lot of guys that used to do that.
Andres Galarraga resurrected his career under the tutelage of Don Baylor by doing just that and then closing up.
Right. Nice pick by Gordon. And that's 2 down. Ball was hit hard.
Twice Rasmus has hit the ball very hard with nothing to show for it. And here's the look. We'll slow it down. Gordon just missed over sliding it. That ball was coming back on him.
Well, actually, that was his imitation of Jake Peavy playing second base.
And did a good job of it.
And went to Bautista. He had a little soft, little fly ball that fell in for a base hit, and he walked. That's foul back, and you can stop by Bacardi at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field at the Gate 5 Plaza. Bacardi at the Park offers a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group and opens at 11 a.m. before all home games. It's a great place to hang out and watch the action on over 70 HD TVs. Two and two. Now let's see if he'll come back upstairs hard. Breaking ball low.
Good job of staying alive that time by Bautista. He was in protection mode, realized he couldn't do anything with it. That ball off the plate. And he was just able to get a piece.
He gone. Pulled a string on him. And we're halfway home, but we trail it by 1. The bottom of the 5th. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for their guys. No runs, just 2 hits and 1 error for our guys. Lower third of the order, Viciedo, Ramirez, and Beckham. Tank struck out on a fastball up. It's a little quick. Right size, wrong shape. 0-1 to count. That change up outside. And there's a shot. Davis can get it over there, but not to stop the double. Number 7 for Tanks.
And just a third hit against Aaron Laffey, so a very promising way to start off the 5th inning.
Back to Scully.
And tried to float that ball on the inside corner. Rifled it over the head of Lowry. And as fast as Davis is, he still can't get to it.
Here's Alexei. He grounded out to Lowry. And there's a base hit. They're going to wave him around. There's a throw. Bad throw. Thank you very much. Now Alexei's going to go to third on that terrible throw by Davis.
And not only a terrible throw, but I have no idea where Laffey was, because there was going to be a throw to the plate. You could see that. And Laffey was in no man's land. He wasn't behind Aaron Sebia. RBI number 42. It's a tie game. Rajai Davis just airmails Aaron Sebia, and Laffey is nowhere to be found. So Ramirez goes into third, and it's the Ramirez family with a very stoic Mr. Ramirez, but he's happy on the inside. Armando's that kind of guy.
Here's Beckham. Infield in. And there's a little pop. That could be trouble. Yes, it will be. And now, Beckham into second. Sox lead it 2-1. Mercy. We told you earlier about this Toronto defense.
Yeah, the defense is having an adventuresome inning. Gordon's going to drive in his 37th run. It looked like Lowry wanted to flip it to Davis, but Davis was the only guy in the park that didn't know he was going to get it flipped. I guess he wanted him to make the throw, but he flipped it on by him.
Well, Bruce Walton, you know what he's saying. You can't say it on the air.
Nope. Just get nobody out. Got a guy who's probably going to try to bunt it to third base, and we'll see how they want to defend it. That's, of course, if Robin chooses to bunt with Piazza.
Alejandro has lined hard to Lowry at third and bounced back softly to the pitcher. Breaking ball up high.
No signs of a bunt there, despite the fact that Encarnacion and Lowry are in very close at the corners.
And the outfield in right and in center is shallow. Bautista in right, Rasmus in center. Two and 0 the count with Uke on deck. Way inside. And tomorrow, well, it's a big day right here at the ballpark. See our Sox take on these Blue Jays and enjoy the Argulo Sox Festival presented by Xfinity and Sierra Mist Natural. Also, the first 20,000 fans in the park will get an Alexi Ramirez bobblehead. That's the first 20,000 fans. The 2-1. That's high in the center field. Rasmus going back now. Beckham's tagged. Here he comes. And he is safe.
Well, if Rasmus didn't slip, that might have been a little more interesting at third base because he's got a very strong and accurate arm.
Yes, he does. But Beckham played where he was defensive.
Yep.
He was shallow. He had to go back, and he was not going to be able to come in and get a running start. But he does have a very strong arm.
Take a look what happens. He just stumbles a bit. Heads up base running play by Gordon, who is a terrific base runner. And now the infield in at all four positions for Uke.
Uke has walked, and he has gone out to left. High and wide. You're trying to stay inside it. There's a lot of room on that right side. A couple of big holes.
Well, what is surprising with a soft tossing left-hander, and Laffey falls into that category, Lowry is that far off the line at third. In fact, he can almost shake hands with Escobar. It's a most unusual defensive setup.
Yes, it is.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Yes, it is. Jacks it up and the count 2-1.
Uke has averaged an RBI per game since putting on our Sox uniform.
And some big RBIs.
Some big ones is right.
That's the key. That's what he did when he was in that Red Sox uniform on. He was a guy, he and David Ortiz were the two guys that drove into big runs.
Well, they put one of their big guys on the disabled list. Dustin Pedroia was disabled by Boston today. And Will Middlebrooks, the guy that enabled them to trade Euclid, not playing tonight. He's got a bad leg, and they don't know if they're going to have to disable him.
There's a shot, base hit. Beckham scores. Sox lead it 3-1.
RBI number 25. And the RBI per game continues for Kevin Youkilis. With a drawn-in infield, he just hits a rope. If Lowry's back at his normal position, he catches it. He's not, so he doesn't.
Well, that terrible throw set the whole thing up.
No doubt. Terrible throw, no pitcher in the right spot, and 3 up on the board here in the 5th.
Don't stop now, boys. As here is Adam.
Jake's probably wondering what city he's in. The previous 4 starts, he never saw 3 runs. He's seen him here in the 5th.
A lot of room on that left side. I'm trying to go that way, and that's going to be out of play. So some good base running by Beckham. They had to play the infield in.
There's the 2 guys at the bottom of the order that figure so prominently in this inning. Started off by a ringing double by Tank.
0-2. Breaking ball a little high. I'm talking about the Red Sox as we speak. They lead the Yankees 7-6, top of the 7th at Fenway. And that's a souvenir. After 7 in Cleveland, Tampa Bay leading 10-3. Bottom of the 8th in KONERKO Park. Tigers leading Kansas City 4-2.
That means that Papa Grande will come in and have a half-hour ninth. That's Jose Valverde, by the way, the closer for the Tigers.
Good eye, 2-2. Atlanta shuts off Philadelphia 5-0. Phillies now 37-48.
Gordon Lakey here, one of the great Philadelphia scouts for years, stopped in the booth to say hello to both of us. We're talking to him about deals, and he goes, we can't even think of deals until we see what's going to happen with our ball club. We're doing nothing right now.
So 2 out, and that'll bring up Paulie. Gordon Lakey, one of the best scouts in baseball.
And his ball club brought Ryan Howard back for the first time since, well, the postseason.
Takes that one outside. Paulie is 1 for 2. There's a shot caught by Lowry, who really skied on that one. Mercy. Boy, that is some athleticism right there. Meanwhile, a crooked number goes up on that board. We'll go to the 6th, leading 3-1.
Line drive rocket. Brett Lowry takes a base hit away from Pauly. Goes up about as high as he can go. At the top of his jump, he makes the play.
How long it took him to get down. He really got up there.
Big effort. Beats my 2.5-inch vertical leap.
So here's Encarnacion, a strikeout. Into a strike him out, throw him out double play to end the first inning. Then he went out to Rios in the third. First pitch strike. And count 1-2. Adam Lind on deck. Escobar in the hole. First of 3 against these Blue Jays. Tomorrow afternoon, Gavin Floyd against Ricky Romero, who's always tough on us. Romero southpaw. So make your plans to be with us. As there he just inside outs it. Shanks it into right field for a base hit.
Encarnacion hitting up close to 300. Breaks his bat. Just barely gets enough of it to get it by Gordon Beckham. That's the 5th Blue Jay hit of the night against Jake.
So Lind out in front of that. Cranked out his 7th homer, leading off the second. He struck out in the third. To the count. Soon to be 29-year-old. It was almost the same pitch he hit out of here.
Pretty close. It was a fastball, belt high, out away. Fortunately, this time he fouled it off. I don't think Jake wanted it there. Not an 0-2.
He gone.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replays, and it's a night that Jake Peavy has had so far, and it's been pretty good. RAJai Davis down on strikes. And a bunch more of these Blue Jays going down on strikes, as Jake has been in control.
7 strikeouts. 5 1/3. And here's Escobar, who's grounded to short and fly deep to center. Takes it just off the outside corner. Cubs leading the Mets 8-3, bottom of the 8th at City Park. Giants leading the Pirates 6-5. That's in the bottom of the 8th at PNC. Here's a strike.
Pirates came from behind last night with 2 in the 9th on a bunt that was not played very well by the Giant closer, and they came back and beat him.
Boy, they're playing their fannies off, aren't they?
10 over.
Line shot. Rack him up. Thank you very much. And that'll retire the side. We're at the bottom of the 6th, still leading 3-1. that puts Sox and Cubs fans' knowledge to the test, the Batter's Box, presented by Midas. Don't miss episode 2 as two die-hard Sox fans square off in the Batter's Box, Sunday at 3:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
I know Jake Peavy pretty happy with the end result of that last inning, a hard hit ball into a double play. Adam Dunn not too happy with an 0 for 3 night with a couple of strikeouts.
Well, you talk about driving in some big runs. Adam Dunn has driven in some huge runs all season long for us.
Well, it's a point now where you're getting a different hero most all the time. I mean, there were times when obviously early Paulie and AJ both carried us. Alex has been doing just a terrific job. Uke now has come to the ball club and he's driving in some huge runs. Alexi's starting to hit the daylights out of the ball. So, you know, when you're in first place and doing things well, you're going to get contributions up and down that lineup, and they're going to do it sequentially. If they do it all together, you score 19 like you did against Texas.
Alex, 1 for 2. That single back in the 4th. Well, the biggest thing why we're in first place right now is a couple of issues, but mainly defense. Mainly defense. There's not a team in the American League who's played better fundamental defense than we have this year. We're not beating ourselves. We're in almost every ball game.
And it also makes every one of your pitchers better because they don't feel they have to strike out everybody. They know that if the ball's in play, the play's going to be made.
From you and I last year, what was our main mantra, so to speak? Because that is caught by Encarnacion, so that is out number 1. It was catch the baseball.
Well,
catch the baseball.
Yeah, giving teams 4 and 5 outs an inning. If you do that, and I don't care how good your pitcher is, you give major league teams 4 or 5 outs in an inning, and you're going to come in second that night or that day.
That's the first rule in baseball. Catch the ball. Here's AJ. He has gone out to center and grounded to second. Hard to second. That ball hit deep. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes, he hung it and he heard it. Mercy. It's 4-1.
He's got 16 of them. He also has 1 more run batted in now than he had all of last year. As our Ford home run replay shows you a rolling breaking ball taken out of the ballpark and a 4-1 lead.
And here's Tank. He started off that 3-run inning, and there's just a bullet. Nice play by Escobar, who gets him. Ball took a big hop for him. Came up. 2 down. Frank and Laurie Faders pick the click. AJ comes through. First pitch strike. Alexei 1 for 2. Off the end of the bat. And he cannot come up with it. Slip. So that'll be a base hit.
Yeah, as soon as he came in and tried to slide and catch it, he was going to have some problems with that one. not sure when players decided that sliding was the best way to get to a baseball, but seems like a lot of them do it. I know pitchers don't practice that. There's no way in spring training when you go PFP, which is pitchers fielding practice, that they teach you to slide into the ball and then make the play at first.
Burley was very good at that. Of course, Burley was good at everything.
He's got the gold gloves to show it.
Yeah. And he's pitching his behind off for the Marlins now.
True whale of a game last night.
Yeah.
Did Mark Burley to even his record at 8-8.
And Gordon, 1 for 2, an RBI and a run scored. First and 30. Or take him out of here. He's got the catbird seat, 2-0. Takes a strike. Four runs, 8 hits, 1 error for our guys. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors for their guys.
And the bullpen up and going. Chavez throwing. $27,129. Paid. Of course, more than that in the ballpark with our wonderful men and women in blue. They did such a great job at the NATO Summit. There he goes. There he gone. But the home run by Pierzynski. We'll go to the 7th, leading 4-1. Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best of our league takes on the best of their league. Don't miss the action on Tuesday, July 10th. And Pasqua, as we mentioned. There's Talia. She's interning for us. How would you like to, when she was a much younger woman, show up at her house and have her dad meet you at the door And, you know, between the yes, sir, Mr. Pasquez, I'd like her in by 8:30, son. Yes, sir, Mr. Pasquez. That's a nice idea.
And I certainly say this complimentary. He was just a physical freak.
He looks like a big, strong man.
It's just unbelievable how far he can hit a baseball. I'll tell you what, he could get that United sign out there. That's how far Dan Pasquez can hit it. And there it is. That's that United sign. He could get that. As that is popped up by RAJAI Davis. Buke's got plenty of room. And one out. I saw him hit one in Yankee Stadium in batting practice. Almost all the way out. Only about 4 or 5, maybe 6 feet short of going all the way out of the ballpark. And that, of course, would translate here to maybe going over that United sign.
How long did he wind up playing here?
A couple of years. He got confused. He became more or less an opposite field hitter rather than using his strength. And it just drove him up a wall. As there's a one hopper by Kelly Johnson. But he was such a great teammate and such a hard worker that what he was working on was actually killing him. And it just drove him out of the game. Here's Aaron Sebia. Popped to short and a strikeout.
Made a terrific throw from his knees to cut down Ramirez at second base to get out of that 6th inning. I mean, it was a bullet.
One and one to count. Aaron Sebia, 13 homers, 41 knocked in.
Matt Thornton loosening up in the pen.
Of course, our veteran.
Yeah, he probably feels like Father Time down there.
I know. And you know they're wearing him out about it, too.
Absolutely.
And here's what, if you missed it earlier, how he led his troops down to the
just making sure that they all know the way.
Rookie ducklings.
No one gets lost.
That's a great shot. And the 2-2 pitch. That was pitch number.
Yeah, he's up to 110.
110.
On a very warm night, it's still 90 degrees at the ballpark.
And that's into right field. Alex coming on. He's there, makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning. 7th inning stretch. Jake has himself a 4-1 lead. Flyaway Friday, each Friday home game. One lucky fan will have the chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States that United Airlines flies. United proud to fly our White Sox, and we are happy to be with them.
It's Jesse Chavez coming into the game at 0-1. The ERA 8.15, on for just the 6th time. He started a couple of games for them. Left-handers have absolutely murdered him. So we'll see if he plays right into the hands of Alejandro Diaz, who's in the on-deck circle.
So here's Beckham. He was at the plate when Aaron Sebia made a terrific throw to nail Alexei at second.
Laffey went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs on 8 hits, a walk and 4 strikeouts. Didn't throw all that badly. Victim, bad defense.
Oh, get down. Nope. Bautista playing shallow. He's there. So now Gordon 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Getting back to Pasco. He was with us from 88, 89, I think it was 88 to 94.
That was a while.
Yeah, a few years.
Come up with the Yankees originally?
Yeah. Yep. So here's Diaza. It was great to see Squaw and also Carlos May signing autographs down in the Gold Coast Ticket Club.
Carlos May is a very funny man.
And he's a very great person.
He's one of my teammates.
He's a great guy. You talking about hanging out some line drives.
They did.
He could hit it as hard as Squaw. It just didn't go as far.
No. After that injury,
yeah,
didn't leave him with much of a thumb. He could still hit it.
Johnson gets him, and that's out number 2. So here's Uke. Uke 1 for 2 with that big RBI single back in the 5th. And if you miss that RBI single, oof.
Drawn in infield, and that's one that got over Laurie's head.
Three and 0 the count. I mentioned Gavin Floyd against Ricky Romero tomorrow night, so make your plans to be with us. Or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. 3:10 start. There's the strike.
Romero
and then in the finale on Sunday to be announced for us against Brett Cecil for them. That's a 1:10 start.
Romero 8-3 this year, but when he hasn't won, he's getting hit hard. 5.35 ERA.
Boy, that's surprising. From what we know of him.
No,
Meanwhile, it's a nice inning. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the 8th, leading by 3. Thanks a lot, buddy. As we get set to go to the 8th inning. First pitch to Brett Lawrie is taken for a strike. He had that infield single. He's 1 for 3. So Jake evidently trying to pick up his 5th complete game. Verlander leads the American League with 5. As that's popped up. Diaz is taking charge.
If he wants to throw a complete one, he better use a minimum of pitches here in the 8th.
No, he's not. Here comes Robin. Look at Jake. He wants to finish it off. He looked at Robin come out of there.
Yeah, that's a lot of pitches, and he's going to have some time off. He did a great job tonight. Once again, a great job. Surrendering just 1 run.
He's something. Boy, you're talking about a competitor.
It's really amazing because early he didn't have his control, walked a couple of guys, but as soon as he got the lead, that was it. So Matt Thornton comes in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. By Jake Peavy is Matt Thornton. Thornton comes in. It is a 2-5, but the ERA just over 3, on for the 40th time. So he has been a very busy man. He'll have to deal with Colby Rasmus, who's hit the ball hard twice, but he's 0 for 3 to show for it.
One out here in the top of the 8th. 4-8-1 for our guys. 1-5-2 for their guys. That evens the count at 1. Of course, old friend Sergio Santos now with Toronto. He's been on the DL. He was on that 60-day DL. Hasn't pitched since April 20th because of right shoulder inflammation. He might be getting back on the mound shortly. Maybe this weekend or early next week. We wish him the best. He is a nice young man. Got 30 saves for us last year.
He did a terrific job last year.
Yes, he did. Two and two. Rasmus chops that one foul. Now feels slightly to the left. Alejandro a few steps over towards Tank and left. Gapped out there in right center. He gone. Cook.
Set him up with some inside fastballs and wiped him out with a good breaking ball off speed out of the zone. Rasmus will have 0 for 4 to show for it.
Here's Bautista. He's 1 for 2. Had a real soft little fly ball single. Starts him off with a changeup. Backs him up with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Another change. And the count 1-2. Bottom of the ninth in Cleveland, 10-3 Tampa Bay. Detroit has defeated Kansas City 4-2. He gone. He knew it. And we'll go to the bottom of the eighth. Sox and these Blue Jays are back in action in a midday meeting at U.S. Cellular Field. Coverage begins at 2:30 with White Sox pregame live. White Sox Blue Jays tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Bottom of the eighth, 4-1 good guys. It'll be Dunn, KONERKO, and Rios face Jesse Chavez. Got the shift on. Lowry way out there in right field.
Well, we know already that Detroit has won, defeating Kansas City 4-2, and Cleveland has lost. Tampa Bay beating them 10-3. So a victory here would be very productive, pushing the Tribe 3 games in back of our ball club.
Off speed out in front. Hooks it over into the Blue Jay dugout. 1-2. One out.
And Adam just got outguessed. Third strikeout, 130 for the year. A very frustrating night for the big man.
Yeah. But when you look at those 25 homers and 60 RBIs.
He's paid to drive in runs.
That's it.
It's production, driving in runs.
And big runs he carried this ball club almost for about a month and a half.
At the end of the day, outs are outs. Doesn't matter how you get them.
That's in the center field. Rasmus broke back. Now can't get at it. So he misread it. And that's the second hit for Paulie. He'll take it. Last time he was robbed of a base hit on a brilliant catch by Laurie on a vicious line drive.
Paulie breaks the bat, hits it off the end of the bat, and Rasmus breaks back 2 steps and then has no chance to recover.
So here's Alex. He's 1 for 3. One hit back in the 4th inning, extending his hitting streak to 11 games. You mentioned he is now ahead of his RBI total from last year. As that hits Paulie.
Well, that would have been a double play. You can't assume the double play, so it's probably not going to be an error on Encarnacion as it catches Paulie. Looks like the left elbow or close to it. One thing to tag it, then you got to get an angle. He had no angle to make that throw.
But you also have to know who's running.
Yeah, he did have a bit of time to move inside and make that throw.
Here's AJ. They're just going to put him on because this is what he did in the 6th.
Home run number 16 in a very, very productive year. Already with more runs batted in than he had all of last year.
Well, look at the 3 guys we're talking about. Dunn, Rios, and AJ all doing already better than what they did last season. Already. Yep. So that'll bring up Tank. Tank with a big hit in this ball game. That leadoff double in the 5th. Up until that point, we only had 2 hits. And we went on to score 3 times in the 5th to take a 3-1 lead. And if you're looking for a flexible ticket plan, White Sox pick 7 and pick 14 let you build a ticket plan around the games you want to attend, and plans start at just $61. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Two on, two out. Oh, he just missed it. Just underneath it. High, towering. Rasmus takes over, makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 9th. It's 4-1 White Sox lead.
It's Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Robin Ventura takes Jake out of the game, and then a very appreciative crowd gives him a standing ovation. This lead holds up. It'll be win number 7. Jake had quite a night tonight. 7 in the third innings, 1 run on 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, a couple of walks. As Addison Reed comes into this one, looking for his 13th save in 14 opportunities. The record 2-1. And he's been throwing the ball especially well lately.
Encarnacion, Lind, and Escobar. Edwin 1 for 3, had a little shank base hit between first and second. And the count 2-0. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
That was a real good pitch. Nissan pitch tracks had most of the plate.
Come back and get him. No walks out. There's one. Fouls that one back, and that's going to be a souvenir. And follow our White Sox with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit whitesox.com. Count hangs at 3-2. There's the dreaded leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Adam Lind. Lind has homered and struck out twice.
It's something that Addison Reed has not done a whole lot of, leadoff walks.
There's first pitch strike. No, he has not. He's been terrific.
If you can get Lynn to hit the ball on the ground, it will be relatively easy too, because he does not run well.
And there's that leadoff walk. It'll get you in a lot of trouble. So just forget about the man on third. First and third, nobody out.
Well, he got the ball on the ground, but unfortunately, you can't play him on the line. That's exactly where he hits it. You can well off the line and just get the ball back into second base, keep the double play in order, and trade the run for the double play. Ben Francisco, the pinch runner.
Here's Escobar. Escobar is grounded to short, went out deep to center, and lined hard into a 4-3 double play. And that ball hit into right center field. Piazza making the call, makes the catch, gets it back in. So the leadoff walk comes around to score, and it's a 4-2 ball game. Meanwhile, a big out.
RBI number 32.
So here's Davis. Rajai has struck out. Put down what appeared to be a perfect bunt, but Uke came in and made a terrific play to get him at first. And then he fouled out to Uke. Also, if you're just tuning in, Uke was 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI. And the count 0-2. Okay, boys, rack 'em up. The strong arm of Beckham. Pick back Paulie. This ball game is over. Yes. They double up the speedy Rajai Davis, but story of this ball game tonight, Stevie, Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy finally got some runs. His team made it hold up. And Jake, a winner for the first time, ends his 4-game losing streak, goes to 7-5. And for Addison Reed, save number 13.
And our GMC player of the game, indeed, it is our 31-year-old right-hander, Jake Peavy, our GMC player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, up here in the booth, Tom Hoover, Frank DeMotto, Frank Leone down in the truck with sound, Doug Bullard. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group. Yes.